What's up, y'all? My name is Ian Edwards, and welcome to the Soccer Comic Rant. Yeah, it's preseason. Speaking of preseason, let me just plug some comedy shit first. I'm a stand-up comic, and I'm taping a special this weekend coming up, August 9th through the 11th at the La Jolla Comedy Store in San Diego. So if you're listening and you want to come through, you got a week to make it there and let's have some fun. And I want to just have a really great funeral for this hour of material that I got before I can start my journey for my new hour of material. People have loved this hour, but it's time to bury it, give it to the world, and let it go, and have no more control over it. And so it'll be. I just want to have a great funeral for this material. So come through to the La Jolla Comedy Store next weekend, August 9th through 11th. 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday, and 1 on Sunday. Love you. Pull up. So let's get to the soccer. We're going to talk me going to see Manchester United in San Diego again for the Real Betis game. We're going to talk some Man City preseason with Alex. And we're going to talk some Southampton preseason with Lee and, whatever else is going on in the Olympics. We're going to talk some Olympic soccer and France and Spain and Morocco and Egypt. And we're going to have some fun. So what's up, Lee? How you doing? Lee Hudson,
I'm all
stand-up
good.
comic, Southampton fan. You all good? And
Yeah, it's
Alex. Now go ahead. And then I'll get to
I was about to
Alex.
say it's an exciting time of year. The sun's out. We got preseason football. We got Olympic football. I'm going to the Edinburgh Fringe soon, so life's good.
You were just somewhere. You had the French bread. So I thought you were in
I went
France,
to
right?
I went to the Olympics to watch basketball. I saw
Oh
Canada versus
shit.
Spain and France versus Germany.
Oh,
So I got
that's
to
dope. Who
see
won those games?
uh, Canada beat Spain just. It was done on the final play. Went right
Uh-huh.
down to the buzzer, so that was cool. Obviously, some great players for both teams. In Canada, got some quality NBA players. Shea Gilgeous-Alexander was probably the best player on the court in that game. And then France versus Germany, I got to see Wembanyama, the alien, play. Although he didn't do much.
Nice.
Germany torched France. The atmosphere was like a football game. Like the French fans all like turned up with like flags. They were bouncing in the stands, like singing songs and stuff. And then Germany absolutely torched them on their home soil. So yeah, it was that was fun. Little break from the football.
Yeah, that's bananas. Like, hey man, I'm just gonna jump on the bus and go to France and watch some Olympic games and come back for the podcast on Sunday in my
I made
apartment.
I made I
That's
made it back for a spot on Saturday night. I watched the games Friday night, and then me and my buddy we drove back we got the ferry on Saturday afternoon, and then I was back for a spot on Saturday night.
Europe is crazy. That is
Mm.
crazy. That is pretty bananas. And we got Alex Avila, Man City fan, stand-up comic, and where's no shirt, no jersey. Alex, you normally pop on here with like an ugly Man City jersey. Today it's just a black T-shirt, which looks better than any Man City jersey. What's up?
Before I start, I want to plug in something. I want to plug in
Uh-huh.
the Blue Foot Bar, best soccer pub, best football because we say football, best football pub in La Jolla. I mean in San Diego. Legendary Noel
Do you own
Gallagher has
shares
been
in it?
there. No, but that's my. I go watch games with the Man City club, the United club, the Arsenal club. So we had a
Mm-hmm.
Noel Gallagher there. We had Lando Donovan there, legendary people. And this weekend, Ian Edwards will be there watching United lose against City on the.
Oh yeah. I'll be there for the. I guess I'll be up there taping. So yeah, I'll pull up. Yeah.
I just want to
Community
give a shout
Shield.
out.
Is that game Sunday morning?
I believe it's Saturday at either 8 or 12.
That's rough, man. Because the taping is actually Sunday. It's Saturday. So I need to sleep. That's the one Saturday, right? We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Well,
Well, just tell the fans you're going so they can
Community
go.
Shield is usually Sunday, right? Or they playing it on.
I'll
Yeah,
check it
let's
out
find
really
out.
quickly. Let's see. Community
Yeah.
Shield. Community Shield. Shield. Yeah, because all the fans want to know, like, if Ian Edwards going to go to the Blue Foot Bar. You know, that's. Oh, it's Saturday at 7. Yeah, that's maybe rough.
I will see. I can get some. I can wake up, go, and then get some sleep, and do some day sleeping. San Diego is known for its day drinking. I'm known for my day sleeping. So we'll see.
Yeah, and to answer your question about the shirts, they're on their way. We have 2 shirts coming. One is arriving on Friday. Rodri,
You bought it?
Burgundy. I want it. We don't buy shirts around here. We place bets. We place bets with people, and they provide the jerseys because you gotta poke in their ego. It's like oh, Arsenal is the greatest side to ever bless the Premier League. Let's make a bet. Man City win the league. Brandon Taylor. Thanks, Brandon Taylor. Then we get someone else. It's like, hey, you think Madrid's gonna beat? Well, that was last year. You think Madrid's really gonna beat City at Etihad? Place a bet. So now we have I have Rodri coming up, Burgundy one.
I like that Burgundy one that I saw y'all in yesterday.
It's nice. That one's nice.
That's your best, worst jersey yet. No, it's actually a legit good jersey. The blue one is the same type of jersey, but it looks better in burgundy. I don't like when the jerseys now are making the front of the jersey like where all the design is, and on the back it's just plain on the number. It looks like you ever see like the card deck, and you look like the Jack or the Queen it looks like you're wearing one of those front aprons and the back is just like nothing. I don't like when they do that.
Exactly. It's like a table. It's like a table apron, and like all the back is there's nothing, and there's like a design.
Hospital gown style. Yeah. It's just like, hey man, could you make a full jersey, please? Like
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to sometimes though for the name and numbering on the back. They can't have it too patterned.
I know, but I feel like they
you
used
can still
to
make
do
it like
better
an area. Yeah,
before.
you can have like a huge area for the number, but I feel like now, like you said, like the back, there's nothing on the back nowadays. Yeah.
It's just completely separated, and just like it don't even count back there. It's just weird. That's why I like the jersey United has now. It doesn't give me that feeling of isolation from the front to the back. It feels like one piece, different colors. They just figured out a way how to there's an announcement now in jerseys like this is the back of the jersey and this is the front of the jersey, and it's like this is 2 different jerseys and we put a back and a front together. So
how do you feel about the blue one, the United one? It seems like
it's okay. I
United,
like it sometimes.
You guys are trying to be City, like you guys get our CEO, you guys got our
You only got one guy from you.
No, I thought there was one more.
Barada, no, we just got one. Then we took Newcastle's guy. Then we took some Southampton people. But we only got one dude, fam.
Okay.
Yeah. You tried to take the city from us. We had to take something.
It's true. And they're like, you know what? Let's just play them. Let's play them blue. See if that works.
I mean, we have switched jerseys. Do we have a blue jersey? We have a blue jersey, and you have a kind of red jersey.
That's true.
It's burgundy. Yeah.
That'd be funny. Like in the derby, they play that. They're like if City's like let's play burgundy, United's like let's play blue.
Yeah, we don't want to play in those losing colors in a derby. in the Charity Shield. So I guess I want to talk about, it's good when preseason because, some of the teams tour and you get to see your team. Being a fan that wakes up early in the morning to watch Premier League games. So we talked a little bit about seeing United in Inglewood, but this is one thing I forgot to mention. So last weekend, Saturday, I went to see United versus Arsenal in Inglewood. Went to see 2 teams that play in red in Inglewood. Inglewood is a gang territory. I know it's been gentrified, but you cannot scare the leftover gang members who are blue with a sea of 2 teams and people that wear red flooding their neighborhood. Like what's about to pop off. So I don't think the money people who gentrified Inglewood thought of this. The owners of SoFi, who also own Arsenal, thought of this. Like, let's Arsenal come play in your red, and let's play your other team that you're a rival with in red, and let's all meet in Inglewood, California, and play a game. So, you know, we're just lucky. Times are different now, and it was okay. But that was a kind of a ironic thing that got overlooked. But went to San Diego on, I think it was Wednesday, to see Real Betis versus Man United. And then this time, I didn't care last year that Man United did not start their starters and it was the kids. You know, as a fan, being from here, you just want to see United play, even if it's the kids. And sometimes I watch the highlights of the kids, so I know some of them. And then there was some first team players, one or two of them that did play. And, you know, but, you know, we still lost that game to Wrexham, but it was still like a good trip, and any opportunity to go to San Diego. It's a nice city, and I like going to San Diego, so it's fine. This time I didn't want to get caught in traffic, so me and a friend, we left at 12 in the afternoon, and we went to meet up with Stephen Hudson and the Stretford Paddock dudes at their crib. But by the time we got there, they had got called to Snapdragon to do some media stuff. So, and I didn't check my phone until I got to their spot that they were staying at. And I was like, just come to the stadium. So we got to the stadium like 3, a little after 3. The game's at 7. We got 4 hours to kill. So
wow.
But it's America. It's like the parking lot is open. We get to park in a spot that's an easy exit when the game is over, you know, and you know, it's America. It's like they're used to like tailgating and stuff like that. They have 2 things set up, one for Real Betis fans and one for United fans, where it's a tailgate party and there's activities. My homeboy won a hat kicking a ball into a net, you know, small net. I didn't win the hat, but I did play, so I sucked at that. Apparently, touch is not permanent. Class is not permanent. But then one of the guys, we were waiting on this line to kick the ball and win the bucket hat. And this one guy, he was good. And this older guy was talking to him. And I was like, isn't that Bobby Robson? Like giving this guy tips like a regular guy that just showed up early to win a bucket hat. And he's talking to him. I'm like, if that is Bobby Robson, that guy doesn't recognize it's Bobby Robson. All my eyes are bad. And come to find out it was, because later on a little stage in the distance, Bobby Robson got interviewed by a Man United reporter. I forgot his name, but he's always covering Man United. And then Bobby Robson, we took pictures with the FA Cup, me and my homeboy, Mike Scharf. And then later on, Steve and Nicole and the guys are like, hey, come over here. And we went over to where they were, and so Bobby Robson and Wes Brown were standing by the FA Cup, and people were lined up taking photos. So we went to the back of the line, and then they came and got us and said, no, you don't have to wait in line. And then they introduced us to like a media person in charge for Man United. And then me and him cut the line of children and people. And we went and we just took photos with Bobby Robson and Wes Brown and the FA Cup, which I didn't even know was going to be there. Brian Robson. I don't know why I'm saying Bobby Robson. Thanks for correcting me. For some reason, I always call him Bobby Robson. Brian Robson. I'm a terrible United fan. Horrendous. Brian Robson. And yeah, we got to take pictures with the FA Cup and Brian Robson. And then we got to see the game. And it was one of United's best games. Betis, I don't think they pressed us for some reason, or if it wasn't an intense press. We started the game with Casemiro and Eriksson playing 8 and 6, and Betis made them look good, or they just looked good against Betis. And Ahmad went off, did his thing. He just like put his stamp on like owning that spot, and I'm happy for him because I believe in his skill and his ability. And even though the game was 3-2 before we brought in the kids, I feel like the kids brought more, and that we didn't score any goals with the kids. I feel like Collier and Hannibal created so much trouble with their press against Betis and their pressure and their intensity against Betis in the second half that I really want us to kind of use those guys somehow. Like they created a lot of turnovers and they just like, you know, when you want to make a team, so you're doing everything, like you're using your skill and you're just using your hustle. And I feel like we can use that hustle from both of them. Now, Collier played yesterday in our game versus Liverpool, and he did make some mistakes, but I just believe that's because he played that game Wednesday, then he played this game Saturday, and he played a lot of the game on Saturday, and he was doing everything, and at some point got tired. And a lot of our team looked tired yesterday at certain points. When Liverpool scored their 2 goals, we were acting real tired. Even though, and it was a weird game. I'm skipping to the game, Liverpool versus Man United. That was a weird game because we looked better than them. We created more opportunities than them. We counter-pressed, we turned them over, and it felt like we dominated that game. So it's a weird game to lose 3-0. If you look at this score, it looks like we got our ass whooped. And if you look at our shots on goal, it looks like they got their ass whooped. Onana, I don't know what Onana's doing in goal. I don't know what we have to do to get the Onana from AC Milan to be our Onana at Man United. If somebody knows, please let me know what we had to do, because that's not the Onana we're getting right now. Marcus Rashford looked good yesterday. He was decent at Snapdragon in San Diego. And Casemiro is like, how do you trash a 5-time Champions League winner without looking obnoxious? But you're not even trashing him. It's like you can't be giving up goals opportunities like that to like a young kid who's just trying to make the Liverpool squad. You can't be going for like basic fakes, you know? And that's just, I don't know, man. It's and he had good parts of that game yesterday too, but then it just made some futile mistakes yesterday. And Harry Amas did pretty good yesterday, and he did good against Real Betis. He just fell asleep at one point versus Real Betis, so Real Betis got their first goal. But for the most part, like, I trust him. If Malacius is going to be injured and sometimes if Shaw needs a break, I feel like these guys can't keep their concentration for full 90s, or to bring them in here and there, give them some 20s and some 30s, and they give their all, they'll be very effective for us, him and Collier. And so, yeah, but United, it's a mixed bag on the tour because we didn't get all the results we wanted, but then you see some possibilities for players that we can use for our season. So that's good, you know? So, and then I like how we're playing better out the back. I like how we press, how we mid-block, how we set 4 out at the front, and then they wait patiently and they don't waste their energy and not running all over the place and burning themselves out. I would like more intensity from like Sancho, you know what I mean? If he's going to remain on the team, I would like him to just put his head down and take people on. I would like Marcus Rashford to make better decisions sometimes and show a higher football IQ. You know, I need more from him as far as that's concerned. I'm trying to, and then maybe this is the last thing. I'm going to make a case for Juan Wan-Bissaka to stay at Man United. First of all, one of the main reasons is that he has a 1 year left on his contract and we don't want to lose him for free. So then I say, just sign him. Just sign him. Because to sell him, the most I'm hearing we're going to get from him now is 18 G's, right? That's not that much. That you're going to have to use that 18 to replace him. So just sign him. And the reason why you sign him is because we have a guy that nobody can beat. And most teams in the world don't have that. So they want to sell him and get Mazraoui from the Bundesliga, from Bayern. But I don't know if Mazraoui is a shutdown guy. I know he plays like Dalot, and we already have a Dalot. It's good to have a variation of a wingback. You don't want to just buy like for like. Whenever a coach makes a like for like substitution, you're like, that ain't no tactical move. But when you have someone that's very different and you sub him in or sub him out, then that's a move. But if you just have two like for likes, it's just like you need the variety over there. And we have the variety over there already. He's proven, he's tried. And they say he's not a progressive like right back, but you're asking a guy who actually is progressive, who does overlap, but plays with Anthony on that side all season, who Anthony never seen an overlap that he liked. He's never passed to Wan-Bissaka when he overlaps. So half the time that they say Wan-Bissaka doesn't overlap, he is actually overlapping, but he's never getting the ball because Anthony cuts in the middle. So put somebody over there like Ahmad who will use him. Also, Wan-Bissaka is pretty good with the ball. You know what I mean? Like he has some tricks to buy himself some space and some time in some tight spaces. And so I'm not sold on selling Wan-Bissaka. I say you keep him for having the variety of choice on that side of the pitch. And I also remember one time Wan-Bissaka played against Liverpool and played on the left. And that was the first time in the Premier League or in a game that I saw Mo Salah switch to the right he switched to the left like halfway through the first half. I'm like, what's he doing over here? He never comes over here. That's because Wan-Bissaka was on the left. And you go back in the history of Wan-Bissaka of Mo Salah at Liverpool and tell me when he's like, hey, let me try over there for a little bit. Nothing's happening over here. You know, whether he's having a good or bad game. So that's my argument for keeping Wan-Bissaka. And it was a great day. Met Brian Robson, Wes Brown. As I was saying his name multiple times, I was like, this feels wrong. This feels wrong. So thanks, Lee. And then, it's great to be in San Diego. Snapdragon is a basic old school stadium, but it's clean and you could see the pitch from everywhere in the stadium. And their food is actually better than SoFi, and it has a cool vibe. And I fucks with Snapdragon, and it was an easy drive home, you know. So it was a great day.
There was two ex-Southampton players playing for Betis as well.
Oh yeah, who were they?
The left back Roman Perrault, French guy. He played for us in our relegation season. Then last season he was on loan at Nice, and then we sold him permanently to Betis. And there's a guy who played for us a few years. Only like 2.5 million.
Okay.
We didn't buy him for that much though, I don't think. So yeah, we took a bit of a loss, but not too bad. And the other guys, he came off the bench. There was a forward called Juan Mi. He joined us from Malaga years ago with lots of like hype, and he wasn't really suited to the Premier League. But he's a very good player in La Liga, so he came off the bench for them. But yeah, you got to see ex-Arsenal guy Bellerin as well at right back.
Yeah, I was surprised to see him. I was like, I keep forgetting that he's there. His hairstyle is retro as hell.
Yeah, he looks very
It's like an 80s movies hairstyle. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you guys remember, but Bellerin, he has like a clothing line. He's like a part-time footballer, part-time model. Like he models.
I believe it.
He's going solo. But that's what I guess Wenger did not really like him as much, because he started modeling. Like he's just like yeah, I know we have a game, but I have to model after the game, and after the game he will go model like straight up. I was like, dude, you're not Beckham, bro. You know.
It's hilarious. So Yeah, that's my. I don't know if you guys got any questions, but that's my United
I
roundup. What
don't
am I?
understand
Mhm.
why is Sancho playing like false nine? Like after you seen him do well on Borussia, playing like on the wing, and they're putting him in the center. I think like he's just not really effective, and I think like that's just not really on our account. You're not getting the best out of the player.
Well, let me ask you a question. Where else was he gonna play? It's preseason, right? You know, Marcus is gonna start on the left, right? Marcus is there on the tour.
No, I think like if the
Uh,
answer is like
Ahmad
because
Ahmad grabbed the whole of the right, undeniably, right? So where are you gonna put him? It's either you put him in there or you don't play him.
yeah, that's what I guess like if the answer is like we don't plan. I mean, if Ten Hag doesn't think he's like it's not on the future, yeah, put him in there because it doesn't really matter. But if you actually want him on the team, I think like you should put him in the bench and have him give him a half on the position that he plays because now you're playing him in a position that he's not really producing.
Here's the bottom line: we should have never bought Sancho. We just never needed him.
Mm.
We just never needed him. Like, because when we bought him, we had Rashford, we had Marshall, and we had a bunch of people, bro. I can't remember all their names now. We were excited about him from the year before, then the price dropped. But but the year before we needed him, and then the year we got him, Greenwood came out of nowhere. And Greenwood worked out. So then Greenwood benched this 70 mil plus guy. And then like he had a chance because Greenwood got in trouble, but then never grabbed it. And then Ten Hag came in and Ten Hag bought Anthony. It's like it's just we just haven't been spending money right. Like we could have defenders. Now we're looking for defenders. Now we're trying to get rid of a good defender to get another defender because we just spent our money wrong. You know, it's just we're still suffering the
Because when,
effects
when
of
you guys got him, like
our
I got
past.
jealous. It was like there's some players that you get jealous of. You're like, man, I wish City was getting that player.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw you guys getting Sancho, I was like, man, like that's a player that I would love for him to come back. But then it's time, and I was like, ooh, I'm glad we didn't get him. You guys can keep him. Have fun.
Yeah, we like when we beat you to the Alexis Sanchez thing, and then you jealous probably then, and then you saw him play for us, and you're like, oh, I'm glad they got him. It
or
was really
or
a stop.
Fred on my wire.
Did you guys want Fred?
Yeah, we want like City wanted Fred, but I think like they ended up getting something else and didn't work out. The Pogba, like City tried getting Pogba a year before, but Juventus was just asking for too much. Then eventually, and Pogba wasn't really. I feel like Pogba actually helped out United by basically telling Juventus, "I want out." For City, he did not do that. For City, he's just like, "I'm okay here. If you guys want me, pay this crazy amount," and City walked away. But yeah, Pogba was another player that City tried to get.
Oh yeah. How do you feel about City's like preseason? You won all your games, right?
No,
Or you
we
didn't
no,
lose?
we lost every game except yesterday against Chelsea.
You did?
Yeah, we lost against
Oh yeah, you
Milan.
lost to Barcelona
We lost against
and AC
Milan. We
Milan. Yeah.
lost, yeah, in Celtic.
Why do your wins, your losses feel more confident from my perspective? Maybe it's because I know it's Pep,
I think
and
like it's
you
just
definitely use your kids.
normally. I think like it's just because every preseason City goes through the same. I think like preseasons you don't get like your main players are like resting and we know that Guardiola like normally City starts a little slow. Like I don't think City has won. I think we've been in 4 community shields in the past and we have not won one. Like
Oh, yeah.
we lost community shield against Liverpool, against Arsenal. I think one against I think maybe West Ham or Aston Villa. I don't or and now I think like most likely I can see City losing against United because Guardiola's gonna play the same team that he played this week. I don't think he's gonna be trying to rush in De Bruyne and Foden and all the players into the 11. So and I can see Guardiola just being like, I'm gonna play what I play in preseason against United and against Chelsea, and he might just tell limit on the FA for having so many fixtures so soon, and then eventually start building up.
All right. All right. So you're saying that the trophy is ours next weekend. That's what you're saying.
I wouldn't be surprised. I think like just keeping the game like we lost it against Arsenal. We lost it against Liverpool. We have not won it like on the past 4 years. Every time that we
I feel like you tried against Liverpool. I feel like that was the year it was Haaland versus Darwin New Year's, and I felt like you fielded a strong team.
That year we actually lost. I think like that's the one that we like against Arsenal. You can tell basically Guardiola is just, I'm gonna play. He didn't take it serious, kind of, because we just came back from winning the treble, and you're kind of putting Arsenal there like as a consolation
Jack
prize.
Grealish was still drunk.
Yeah, it's like why is Arsenal here? They just put someone else. Arsenal lost everything, But I feel like United deserves to be in that because you guys won fairly and square the FA Cup. Arsenal's basically like, why are we playing against them? Have someone else,
They came second, so because you won every trophy that year, then they get it. What do you feel about Jack Grealish's preseason?
I like that. He's I think like he's playing like on more like a free role, like given that he has no one. I guess because he's playing with younger players, he feels more freedom as to like do his own thing, kind of like move the ball around. But if I want to see when De Bruyne, Rodri, and all the players come back, and like they're gonna be like, hey, dude, you gotta pass the ball, man. You cannot be dribbling the ball around like just. I mean, because he's good at it. But once you have the players, when you have a system, De Bruyne's gonna be like, you cannot be running like around dragging 4 players. You gotta release the ball, man. Like how we play. Yeah. I was happily surprised.
Do you feel like he had a good preseason?
I think he had a good preseason. Yeah, I think he had a good preseason. I'm pleasantly surprised to see Calvin Phillips play. He's playing center back.
See, I know. I saw that. What do you think of that?
This is gonna sound. I don't want to say this because we're recording this, but I will keep him if he's gonna be playing like that in a CB. City goes through injuries every season. You get 2 injuries in center backs. I'll keep him if he's gonna play like that.
I'm with you. I seen him make some great switches, and then it took me 5 of those switches to realize it was him.
Yeah,
because I would never expect that level of switching, like picking a player out dead on, not even a chance of the fullback on that wide player getting a chance at the ball, and like turning the game in a different direction on a drop of a dime. And I was like, because City doesn't play with names on the back, do they, or did they?
They do. They do with like official names.
Well, my eyes are bad.
Yeah.
But I was like, but I just didn't expect that to be Calvin Phillips playing center back. And I think what it is he's been playing CDM for like a long time, right? Like center. And normally when you're playing that, you're getting like constant, basically like like the pressure of players coming at you. I think as a center back, he's comfortable because he's like, I have so much space to pick up my head and make the right pass, and he's enjoying that. I think he's like, no one's checking on me. I can check into my goalie, give me the ball back, and I'm gonna just distribute the ball. And he's playing so nice. Like I love the way he's playing. But I don't know if that's enough for him to make the team, or if he's gonna go play center back at a different team, or if he's gonna try to go back and play DM somewhere else. So it's a good shop window.
I did see some other clips of him though, like just losing the ball under pressure when they were playing out and stuff. Yeah.
That was against AC Milan, I think. And he was playing midfield, I think.
Yeah, exactly. He was a little bit higher. And there was 2 youngsters playing CB, and you can tell like those guys were also like kind of like nervous because they were just it just felt like he was just really like the first game. Everyone kind of like there was no cohesiveness in the back and stuff. But
I've been really impressed with McAtee though.
McAtee's good. I think the winner of the preseason at Man City, like if you were to give like a MVP of preseason, Oscar Bobb. I think he's just.
Yes. Oh,
I
Jesus
think
Christ.
he just secured his spot. I think he actually just secured his. I can go somewhere else if I really want to, or I can stay in the team. And he just whatever you want to do, man, you can do it.
Oscar Bob can go to Pep and say, "Hey, man, give me this, or do you want another Cole Palmer on your hands?" You know what I'm saying? Like, they're not going to give you shit for Cole Palmer because you get most shit right. But if I leave and do this shit somewhere else, that this is your city. This is building a case against your choices. So, fam, give me a good contract. Promise me some playing time. I feel like this dude, like, might take playing time away from Foden, who was not just City's player of the year, but like he's effortless, bro. He's effortless, and it's crazy what he can do.
No, I mean I've been watching the guy like and for 2 years and stuff, and it's just one of those teams that you see him, and every time he comes in, he's just comfortable like dribbling, and he hasn't got a lot of time on the Premier League, but when he's gotten minutes, he makes the best out of it. Like I remember he had this winning goal against Newcastle, and he came in because we had no one in the bench. It was one of those games that I think we had Julian Alvarez in camp just as subs, and he came in and he make a difference. So I think this is basically his chance for him to be, maybe he's probably gonna start against United. He's probably gonna start against Chelsea. Probably gonna start another game, and then if he makes the best out of it, he might have a nice run where he's like, Guardiola's like, dude, this guy is showing me what he's doing. Until he does something wrong, he will be in the bench. But for now, I think he's probably gonna start the next 3 games.
He's 21 now though, so he's coming to that age now where it's like, oh, he needs to be playing week in, week out. So I think this is like his make or break season. If he doesn't break into the first team on a more regular basis, because he'd been sort of involved, obviously, like last season, but if he doesn't get more minutes this season, I think then he probably would look to leave. And I think for City, it's not the worst situation to be in, because if you sell him, it's pure profit on the financial fair play rules, and I'm sure you would get a very, very, very good price for him from someone. But if he stays and plays, obviously he's a super exciting player. So it's win-win.
What do you consider a good price?
For him, I think he would probably command like minimum 30, 40 million.
Right.
Only because he's unproven in terms of like playing week in, week out. Like he's still potential, but only because he's not been given the chance. But I think he would command at least that. Probably more.
He plays for Norway, and normally he actually starts for Norway. And those games with Haaland,
he links up with Haaland. And
what's the guy for Arsenal? I forgot his name right now. Odegaard. Normally, like when people are watching Norway, they're watching Norway for Odegaard or for Haaland. They're like, I'm watching the game for these two, and all of a sudden people are like, who's this guy right here? He's just dribbling players, and it's always like Oscar Bobb. So every time there's like a Norway game, there's so many mentions about Oscar Bobb. So that we've seen this guy is good enough to be playing. So I hope he gets some minutes, because, like Lee said, maybe he's at that age where if he does not get in minutes, maybe his best option is to go somewhere else.
Yeah, he's not a teenager anymore. It's playing age now.
Yeah, I feel like one time on the show last season, me and Lee talked about all these young great players coming out, and now towards the end of this same season and in this preseason, from every team in the Premier League and just all over the world, there are kids who are better than really good adults who are playing, and I'm seeing them. Like the Barcelona Man City game was very interesting to me, because you played Barcelona, right, in preseason, like midweek, and like it was like La Masia in Spain versus La Masia in Manchester, because Pep is from Barcelona, the Catalans. He came through that whole program. So he set up Man City's youth program. You could tell that, like, oh, he set it up just like La Masia. So it's like you were seeing these kids from both teams that you didn't know, but they were balling. And it's like, you know how sometimes scouts go to youth tournaments to look for players? I'm like, all you got to do if you're a scout is watch this game and buy 3 players, for 60 mil and you have a spine for your pro first division team, and you could go some places because there were some ballers on that team, and they everybody looked like they would know what to do, and they played in a structure. They obeyed their defensive responsibilities and kept their offensive responsibility. And it's just like so much skill and tiki-taka, but also intensity and defensive drive. And you're like, who trained these little motherfuckers? And
I feel like if you're a Barca fan, that game probably should give you like some kind of like little hope, because you're not gonna be competing with Madrid because they just got Mbappe, they got Bellingham.
even though they just
But
beat Madrid.
well, yeah, but like, preseason, right? But
yeah, no, none of them were there. None of them were there.
Yeah, but I feel like at least you're like, okay, at least we have some good foundation that if we basically work it out with the right coach, right system, we can basically find some jewels. You know, like if you get Nico Williams and a couple of these guys make it work and stuff, because yeah, they have some ballers. I was so impressed by Barca players. I didn't even know. It sucks because I don't know who those guys were, because they didn't have their jerseys, and then I think they swapped their jerseys again. I was just confused. So like, I don't know who these guys are, but there was some, like, there was a center
sometimes
midfielder.
Sometimes I was like, didn't they just sub in the same guy they just subbed out? Like,
exactly.
Put the name on the back of the jersey, bro.
Yeah. Well, guys, it was a pleasure. I gotta get going. But,
whoa! Lee's gonna talk about Southampton's preseason. What the fuck, bro? This is rude. This is so city of you.
Southampton won yesterday 1-0, and they played good ball. Armstrong scored the winning goal. Right?
Oh, okay.
See,
all right.
He's done his research.
You know, Alex, you could bounce.
All right, good. I'll see you guys next time.
Saved it. All right, good seeing you, fam.
Hello, Alex.
What up, fam? Tell me what that Southampton do, baby.
He's given the spoilers away.
I know.
No, we played midweek first though. We played against Oxford United on, I think it was Wednesday night. And they just got promoted to the Championship from League One, and we did not play well in that game. It was honestly, it was not good, because we kept faith with our second choice goalkeeper, Alex McCarthy. He played in the playoff final for us. He played in the playoffs semi-finals as well, because our first choice keeper Bazunu was injured. Bazunu's out for a while. He's going to be like another maybe 5-6 months away. So
you might be back in the Championship by the time Bazunu comes back. If he doesn't hurry.
Who knows? But all the fans were like, because McCarthy was out of contract in the summer, and all the fans were like, he's done well for us in the playoffs, but it's, thanks and goodbye time kind of thing. Leave on a high. Let him leave on a high. But the manager was a bit sentimental about it, gave him a new contract. He's played in preseason, and the problem is we want to play out from the back. We want the keeper needs to be good with his feet, and he's not. And he kind of, he didn't have a great game in that game, but lots of other players didn't have a great game too. We lost 2-0 to Oxford, and it didn't look good. We've got another keeper. Yeah. No, not college team, but we got another keeper as well, Mateus Liz, who he was on loan at our sort of partner club Göztepe in Turkey last season, and he played well for them. They won their league. He kept a record amount of clean sheets, but he's not really looked that convincing in preseason when he's played as well. So it sounds like he's going to go back out on loan, or maybe even a permanent move to Göztepe. So we will probably be buying or loaning another keeper in, and it's got to be someone better than McCarthy. It needs to be a number one keeper. There's rumours we might go for Ramsdale on loan, which I would love that.
That'd be great.
Because he needs minutes. He's going to just be rotting on Arsenal's bench otherwise. He's not getting in ahead of Raya. But I think he there's a chance he could be too expensive for us. Don't know if a deal can be done, but yeah. So it'd be interesting to see if we strengthen there. We still got a couple other positions we need to fix, but we signed Ben Brereton Diaz, the Chilean centre forward, so he's in now. He didn't play against Oxford. He didn't play against Millwall. He wasn't in time for Oxford. Oh no, he was there. He signed just before we played Oxford, so he's been with the squad. He's been doing training, but he's not quite ready. Year? he went on loan to Sheffield United for the second half of the season from Villarreal.
And we watched him, right?
Yeah,
We
he scored
talked about it,
six. Right? Yeah, he scored six goals in 14 games for them, which in a team that was terrible isn't a bad return. So I'm hoping he's going to play this week. I'm going on Wednesday. We play Lazio in a friendly. So that'll be an interesting game. Obviously, good level opposition. It's our first home friendly. So I'm going down to that. It's the first season we've had a standing section in the stadium now. We've had that installed. So I've got a ticket in the standing section. I'm going to see how that is. Feel weird standing.
Why would you want to stand
game.
the whole game?
Oh, it's a good atmosphere. It's in the loud end. It's where our loud fans are. So there's just one section of the stand where that is, because a lot of people were standing in that end anyway, and it was considered unsafe. Because in the singing section,
let's make it even unsafer.
Well, no, it's all safe. It's in there. They've got the crash barriers and everything to stop anyone from surging forwards or anything. It's coming back in at a lot of Premier League clubs now. But it's people want to stand up if they're singing. You sing in a football stadium sitting down. It's weird.
True.
But yeah, I'm going to experience that. So I'm looking forward to that on Wednesday. Hopefully, Brereton Diaz will play in that game. But yeah, we beat Millwall 1-0. The goal was kind of fortuitous. Their keeper messed up on a cross and it just fell to Armstrong, and he put it in. One player I've been really loving in pre-season though is a young player called Tyler Dibbling. He's been playing well against the French teams we played in the friendlies, and he's been great in every game, just 1v1, taking people on. He looks a little bit like Grealish as well. He plays with like the socks down low around the ankles. But he's just been running around people. Another young winger we've got, Sam Amo. Dibbling's a winger. He plays left. He can play right as well. But yeah, he plays mainly on the left. Amo Amior can play on the right. He's left-footed. They both play cutting in. But they're both teenagers, both looking like the manager sort of challenged them at the start of pre-season and said, like, you're going to play pre-season. Show me that you're good enough to play in the first team once the season starts, and they've both done that so far. So they could be involved. We're looking okay though. I still think we need one or two players more in certain positions. There's a guy I've talked about him before on here, Matt O'Reilly at Celtic. He's been playing so good for them. Like, he played great against Chelsea and Man City pre-season, which I think might have put his price up a bit. He played really well for them in the Scottish season started today, and Celtic won 4-0. And he played great in that game as well. So
that's Brendan Rodgers, right?
Yeah, Brendan Rodgers is there.
He whipped ass all preseason against a bunch of Premier League teams.
Yeah. And they, like I say, they started 4-0 today. So, but this guy O'Reilly, he's played for our manager before. They've got a really good relationship. And he can do everything. He's a centre midfielder, 6'2", technical, physical, can take set pieces as well. So if we can get that one done, I'd be overjoyed. But Celtic keep pushing the price up. I think Atalanta can offer him potential Champions League football or European football of some sort. So yeah, it's going to be a tough one. But yeah, I think we're in a relatively good place. We need a bit more firepower though. We need a bit more goal threat. Maybe another forward. I'm not sure. And a goalkeeper for absolute sure. So still waiting to see what's happening with Walker Peters. He's been linked with West Ham as well, but that West Ham, I think, are deciding over him and Wan-Bissaka who they want. And he hasn't played for us in pre-season at all. Walker Peters, he's fit and healthy, but I think they don't want him injured in case he does go. We did sign another right back, Sugawara, the Japanese right back. So we have that position covered off if he goes. But the fact that he can play right and left means he's quite valuable to us. So we'll see what happens. But no, we're looking okay. We've got Lazio Wednesday. Like I said, I'm going to that one. We got Getafe on Saturday. So they're our final two friendlies. Both good European opposition. So hopefully we'll see where we're at in those games. And then Newcastle away is the first game, which I'm going to as well. So yeah, it's getting closer now. It's come around quickly. It only feels like preseason started not that long ago, and now we're coming into that final weekend.
Yeah, I feel like I really enjoyed this preseason. I'm trying to figure out why. I did enjoy other preseasons,
because
but
it was on your doorstep.
yeah, but so was the last preseason and the preseason before that. And I went to not just, even if I didn't go to a United game, I went to, like, I was watching El Clasico before this one, the one that they just played in Jersey. And I was like, shit. I was like, oh, I've been to that here in America, in Vegas. And I was like, I've seen, but they fielded because there was no tournaments, like it's, you know, mid, like summer tournaments. Like I got to see full Madrid versus full Barcelona, as opposed to what the people in Jersey got treated to. Even though, shit, I'll take it. I'll take it either way you can get it. But yeah, you know, it's just good. It's good to, like, you know, run into the people and hang a little bit. Like I saw KG from United View. So I saw him at the game too in San Diego. And then that was on Wednesday. Then I came back. And on Thursday, I went to the Comedy Store. And then one of the comics that works there said, hey, and he's AG, Faji, he's been on the podcast before. He's an Arsenal fan. He said, KG's upstairs. I said, why is he still in town? Because United went to, I guess, where did we play? I think we just played in Ohio. I think it's Ohio, somewhere in wherever we went. So I thought he'd continue on with the United View, but he's a comic too, and he's an actor too. And he stayed in town because he was there was a big fight. And I didn't know, but he has a big fight interest, and him and his friend, another podcast that they have a fight podcast where they're like announcers or they're critics. So I did run into KG and spoke to him there too. So yeah, I just feel like it was just good to, like, have people in town. We went to the Saddle Ranch with the Stretford Paddock guys. We hung out. They watched the comedy show. It was just a good time, you know. Everybody was just like chilling, and then see the games. So I don't know. I would like to make fun of Chelsea's preseason, but ours is only this much better. But what's your read? What's your read on Chelsea's preseason? And what's your, you know, because Arne Slot is, because I don't want to hear about your Liverpools. Like Liverpool has won 2 games, got the results, but has been outplayed in both games. Arsenal outplayed them, like just kept on hammering their castle wall, but could not break down the moat door, like hammered them. And I feel like United was put the game to them just as much as Arsenal, a little bit under. And we looked good against them, but we lost to them too. So maybe do Arne Slot first, and then maybe we can put some distance between how United played and then slam Chelsea as if we did good.
Yeah, it's an interesting one because, I mean, preseason is a lot about performance over results and players understanding what's being asked of them, and obviously some teams have new managers or new players, so there's sort of just that, you know, cohesiveness coming together. That's the main use for it. And, you know, you want your team to be ready once that first game comes. But I mean, I think some of the differences are, like, you look at United and the teams they've been playing, it's not necessarily the team you're going to start the season with, because you've got players coming back from the Euro still, like, you know, key players as well. Like Bruno Fernandes is so central to how you play. And he's not been there. So, and you know, you've been given these youngsters games, and you know, they might need to be called on, because if you're, you know, the likes of Amas and Collier, they're playing in positions where you still haven't fully fixed those positions yet, so that, or got players fit in those positions. So they could be playing. But yeah, you look at, I mean, City have been playing only half a team because of how deep a lot of their players went into the Euros. So they've been blitzing people with reserved team players, and Haaland, obviously, because he didn't go to the Euros. So that's been scary. But I mean, Chelsea have had pretty much their whole team there for a lot of it. But I mean, Enzo came in late because he was obviously playing Copa America and whatnot, and Caicedo too. So they're 2 key players for them. But I mean, yeah, I think the biggest thing for them is they've had a new manager who has a very clear and defined style of play, but one that's also very specific. So the players have been learning that, and it's different to how Poch plays. So I think that's partly been their one, like, and they need to be hoping that the teething problems are getting out the way now, in terms of how that breaks down. Because I mean, some of those games that I've been watching, some of the players have not been getting it from the looks of it. I mean, I watched some of the game against City, and Tosin Adarabioyo, who signed from Fulham, he was all over the place in terms of his passing, like giving the ball away, getting beaten for pace. So he's a new player coming in to play under a new manager. So
What's his
he's looking
position?
like centre back. And it looks like they're going to play with 3 centre backs, potentially Chelsea.
Right.
So it's it's interesting how they're moving so far. And yeah, they got a lot of players in certain positions and not a lot of players in certain other positions. One player I have been impressed with them though so far is Nkunku. If he can stay fit and get into the start of the season, I think he'll be a really key player for them. Oh no, it's a back four with Chelsea. So yeah, Adebayo's got no excuse. Yeah, and I don't know if you saw it, Sterling's goal against Man City.
That
was
volley.
a great goal. Yeah, the clip ball to the back post, and then the volley was superb. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see how they line up. I mean, I've been enjoying seeing Lavia fit and healthy though, because obviously we sold him to Chelsea for a lot. No, not been playing the best, but I'm glad he's been out for a whole year.
Yeah. We're giving that.
So I'll give him that. But he's I think if he can get up to speed, he's perfect for that style of play. I think he'll be the backup behind Caicedo and Fernandes in that position, because I think those two will play in that midfield. Obviously, when they're fit, they got all 3 of them in that game. But I think Fernandes will drop back when they start playing in the Premier League. So yeah, it's interesting to see how these teams are coming together. I don't think Sanchez has been convincing in goal for Chelsea either. So yeah, it's an interesting one, because I'm just looking at the team for Man City that started that game. So Ortega was in goal, and I think there's not much in it between him and Ederson. I think Ortega could be the number 1 this season, because they've been trying to sell Ederson. But Rico Lewis was at fullback. He's not the first choice. He's a good player, but he's not the first choice there. Phillips at centre back, not the first choice there. Gvardiol, yeah, first choice. Wilson at left back, never seen this guy before. O'Reilly in centre midfield, never seen this guy before. Kovacic, not first choice. Oscar Bobb, McAtee, Grealish, like all good players, not always first choice for Grealish. McAtee and Bobb, definitely not. And then Haaland, whereas Chelsea in this game were pretty much full strength. So, yeah, it's interesting to see where they're at, some of these teams. But like I say, it's preseason. You can't really tell too much. But, I mean, they did beat Club America convincingly midweek.
But that's the thing. It's like, it's Club America. No disrespect, but Chelsea got to beat Club America, even though Club America, after that, beat Aston Villa. So I'm going to tease Lloyd 100% and ask him, and there's going to be an inquisition about that shit, because you ain't supposed to be losing to Club America when you finish 4th in the Premier League, you know?
Yeah, it's preseason. Like I say, it's a mixed bag and a lot of travel as well.
So Arne Slot is not going to win the Premier League then for Liverpool. That's what you're saying. Don't pay no attention.
Liverpool's been interesting because they've been, like, if you watch the whole games, like you say, they've been getting outplayed by teams. But then if you just watch the highlight clips, they look great.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. And they've had most of their team there as well. Like
Definitely a
Salah,
Liverpool
obviously
editor making those highlight reels that's on YouTube, because the one they put up against us, it's just all their goals and one of our shots over the bar. And I'm like, that's not what happened. Then the official one got released, a 10-minute one, and you see all United's chances. All United's chances couldn't even fit in the 10-minute reel.
But he's someone where it's like, you know, it's a new manager coming in as well. I mean, just looking at the shots you guys had, 18 to their 9, 8 to their 5 on target. Possession was pretty even. But yeah, Liverpool don't have that many players to come back though. I think Gakpo's not back yet for them.
Yeah, they got a lot of players coming back. There's no Van Dijk.
McAllister isn't there yet either.
No
so
Trent.
Yeah, they're missing. Yeah, actually, yeah, give them credit. They're missing a few.
No,
Yeah,
the
I mean,
Scottish guy that plays left back for them wasn't there,
Robertson as
Robertson.
well. Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah, be interesting. Allison, I don't think is back for them
yeah, Allison's
either.
not back.
So yeah, I think the tournaments have really sort of scuppered some teams' preparations, especially the teams with new managers, where you're going to have to come in and learn some new stuff as well. So yeah, it's a bit of an unknown. It's hard to call at the moment, and like I say, the results don't always tell the full story. So if you look at the performances, but then the performances and the results have been bad. So I don't know, but I mean, it's interesting seeing some fans just absolutely losing their mind online at preseason. But like I say, for me, it's that thing of you don't get too high over the good results in preseason, don't get too low over the bad results, because they're being used for different purposes by the managers and what they want out of it. But I mean, winning's always a good habit to have if you can get in that mindset. So yeah, it's so hard to call where these teams are going to be at come the start of the season because of these late returns for some of the tournament players. So yeah, I'm interested to see how the teams shape up in the Community Shield at the weekend.
Yeah, I wonder if we're gonna. I guess we should start Bruno on everybody that's available, right? Right, like, or at least get them
if
in
they're
there.
back. Yeah,
because he's had no coaching contact with them. They're at Carrington or wherever they're at our spot training with everybody else that came back late. Kobe's there and everybody, but yeah, it's gonna be funny to see how they do this. That tournament really threw a loop in things, the Euros.
Yeah,
and
it's it's scarily close. Like I say, the start of the season. This is the final week and weekend. So yeah, I'm excited to see the real games start though.
I don't know. I just thinking, like, sadly back to our injuries, and just I'm already, the season ain't even started, and I'm like, man, look what could have been, and that's just sad, like United is back to last season, mid-season already, and the season ain't even start. Like, we got all these key injuries. Like, they didn't even play Maguire because they're like, we don't want him to get injured, and then we're playing players we want to sell because we're that injured in the preseason. Like, Wan-Bissaka's out there playing full 90s. Meanwhile, Fulham is like bidding on him. And normally you don't play a player you're trying to sell.
Yeah.
But like, we're so banged up already before the season started. Like, we have to do that. Like, Johnny Evans is like playing, like, our fifth choice is like starting games, and that's and I like Johnny Evans. He's actually a really good passer out the back. He's kind of press resistant and he doesn't get caught out there. So, props to him for being, and I think he has more speed than people suspect. Like, I ain't seen anybody beat him yet. Like, not even during last season. He's limited a little bit, but he's way better than most 37-year-olds at that position for a big club like United. But yeah, it's just we're already like at Christmas injury mode, and it's August. Like, how you started the podcast, like, it's great, the sun's out, I just got back. I can't even come at you like that with that. I don't even got that energy.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with you guys, whether it's the medical department, whether it's the training loads, whether it's just bad luck. I don't know. But it's, yeah. That's the worst thing, is when it happens to your new signings as well. Like,
yeah.
Can't, because what's they're saying, like 3 months for Euro now.
Yeah.
whereas I think Højlund will be quicker from the sounds of it.
Yeah, like maybe like a month or 2 months, but you know, it's like that game versus Arsenal, which I still say we didn't lose that game. They scored an offside goal, and as soon as our scorer scored, he got injured, and then Euro got injured. So it's like it's such a convenient that result was so convenient for Arsenal. You know, just based on what happened to us, like. So and that their first goal was offside 1,000%. There's Gabriel Jesus is always offside. How was he not offside then? You know, that's his thing. But it's fine. It's fine. We'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. You're just gonna tell me about the Olympics. What's going on with the Olympics football?
Yeah, it's in the semi-final stage now. We just had the quarterfinals. So France played Argentina. That one was heated. Mateta scored in the only goal in the 1-0 victory with a header. There was a ton of injury time as well, and things were getting a little bit tetchy. So there was a bit of a scrap after the game, which was interesting. France thought that the Argentina players have been taunting them and stuff. So yeah, that one was feisty. So France beat Argentina 1-0.
They thought the Argentina players was taunting them, like singing that song, that number one hit across football Argentina.
I'm not sure, but yeah, I mean, there's obviously some bad blood there, and the World Cup final as well. That's becoming like a national team rivalry now between those two. But then Egypt beat Paris. Yeah. On home soil as well. Good to see the home nation going well, and Thierry Henry sort of building his reputation back up as a coach as well, because his stock wasn't that high after some of the jobs he'd been at. But Egypt beat Paraguay on penalties. Spain beat Japan quite convincingly 3-0, and Morocco trounced the US 4-0. So sets up some interesting semis though. France versus Egypt will be a good game, and Morocco versus Spain is like even though one's Africa, one's Europe, it's a local derby. There's a tiny piece of water separating those two, and the Kingdom of Morocco had sort of gone into Spain in history at times, and Spain had gone into Morocco at times over history as well. So that'll be a fun rivalry. Those games are tomorrow as well. They're happening.
Oh yeah, all right.
Yeah. So they'll be interesting. We'll see how we get on. And then in the women's, Team USA scraped it against Japan. Trinity Rodman, Dennis Rodman's daughter.
Okay. I saw that goal. I saw that screamer. Yeah.
Yeah. So now they play Germany in the semis, that'll be a tough game. And Brazil, Spain is the other semi.
That's good
in the women's. So yeah, there'll be some good big games there as well. So it's it's a nice little addition to the summer. Obviously not as high profile as the Euros, the Olympics, but it gives players some other things. It keeps some players away from their clubs for longer as well. Palace will be looking at Mateta thinking, yeah, we need him ready for the start of the season. Don't
shit. I hope we get Palace early and get them without Mateta.
Yeah, I don't know if he needs a break. After this, I'm gonna have a look at Palace's early fixtures just to see who they've got. Because obviously they got no Elise as well now. He's at
Bayern.
He's at Bayern. So yeah, it's a couple of key pieces for them. So they're playing Brentford on the opening day, then West Ham, then Chelsea, then Leicester. So mixed bag of games. You got them on the 21st of September, which will probably be back when Mateta's up to. You got them in game 5. So he'll be back for sure then.
Perfect for them. We owe them one too. We owe them one. Yeah, it's. I don't know what we're gonna do with Casemiro, because he should be better, and it's tough not to start him. They paid a lot of money for him, but he's definitely messing up. But we are. I feel like another argument that I didn't put in for the case for Juan Wan-Bissaka is like, we need to focus on our midfield. Like, if we don't sell Wan-Bissaka and give him a new contract, we fix something really quick and get to focus on something that we need to fix the most. And that is it going to be Ugarte or the other kid from Spain or somebody else? Or is it going to bring Amrabat back? But we definitely need a 6. You feel me? That's going to start. That can, like, hey, that you can say, all right, Casemiro, we're going to start this person over you. You almost have to buy someone to do that. You know what I mean? Because it's going to be that person and Mainu, and we need to pull the trigger on that person. Or we need to fix are we going to get Delit or not? That situation in the back, like where we have shit to focus on. If we don't sell Wan-Bissaka now and then focus on that trade, we need to either get Delit in or somebody else and fix the midfield. It would, like, why are you even like over there? With all that distraction, like, focus. I know we have a team now, but they need to, like, make the most pertinent calls, prioritize.
Yeah. I think your midfield will look different once Bruno and Kobe Mainoo are back, though.
Mm-hmm. I mean, we have Mount, but Mount plays where Bruno plays, and it's good to have a backup, but Bruno's never doesn't play.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like Ten Hag has to make the call sometimes to be like, Bruno, you got to sit out. There's no way a captain approaching his 30s can play like that all the time. It's going to hurt us in the long run, in the later part of Bruno's contract, if we do that. We got to be like, hey, man, we're going to do this rotate. We got to rotate, and we got to get this guy ready who's younger than you to know this team as much as you do, just for even a few years from now, or just so we can make some tactical moves in a game, or yeah. So we got to see what's up. Bruno might be the false 9 now, but because of like we did in FA Cup.
You got Xerxes as well. I mean,
we got Xerxes, yeah.
He's not been involved yet, has he? At all?
Nah, I haven't seen him. So we didn't want to bring him on tour because we didn't want to get him injured early.
Yeah.
So we said, stay home. If you come on tour, you're going to get injured, bro. Go on vacation.
Stay home, wrap yourself in bubble wrap, and we'll see you on the first day of the season.
Yeah. We're going to put you in this Amazon envelope. Stay in it. Don't come out. Yeah. But yeah, that's what's up. Got to cover the Olympics. We covered the U.S. tour of Premier League teams, Southampton, Man City, and so yeah, man, let's be out.
Really
on
quick
Sunday.
Shout out to one team. I didn't see the whole game, so I don't know what they did the rest of the game, and I don't know what state RB Leipzig are in preseason. But Wolves balled out against them, just popping the ball around. Like, Gary O'Neill is working miracles on that team. They look like they found a new gem as well from Portugal. Another one called Rodrigo Gomez, plays on the left side. He looks really good. Players that did well for them last year are looking good, like Chi Huang as well. Just that they got players who are just underrated, who are doing a good job. So they could be an interesting one to watch as well, the way they've been knocking the ball around preseason. So might have to, that brings me to my next point. I might have to consider some of their players for my fantasy team. So the fantasy league is building. We got some of last year's heavy hitters have re-signed. I'm talking about the likes of Joachim Henriksen, reigning champion. We got Ahmad Zekri back in there. We got Garjan Lau back in there. Joey Duda's back in there. So yeah, we got people joining. So if you're not joined, get yourself in there, make a team. The code is 38PBXA. I'll put it in the comments again as well. But yeah, we got a lot of people in there now. It's bubbling. So yeah, get involved.
All right, dope. And we got a lot of views last week off that episode. So tell your friends, keep I'm gonna try to see if I can get the other Stretford Paddock guys to come on individually throughout the season too. And yeah, so yeah, we're gonna have some guests and stuff from those other channels and platforms. So yeah, so once again, my plug is if you're in San Diego, if you want to pull up to the Comedy Store next weekend, August 9th through 11th, I'll be taping my comedy special there. So pull up and come through. And the information is on at Ian Edwards Comic on Instagram. Got anything you want to plug, Lee, before we bounce?
Just the socials, Lee Hudson Comedy. I'm about to go up to the Edinburgh Fringe Festival next weekend. I'm there because it's already started. It started on the 1st of August, but I'm going up for the second half, running my hour every night for 2 weeks. I'm hosting a midnight crowd work show every night as well.
Oh yeah.
Which we're going to get some drunk Scottish people in there. It's going to be fun. Yeah, that'll be chaos. My show, my hours at 10 p.m. every night, midnight crowd work show as well. All the details for tickets and everything, if anyone's hitting the festival up, or on the socials.
Oh, dope. That sounds fun. Everybody check that out. Thank you for listening. Take care of yourself. Enjoy the rest of your summer. And we love you. Be good to each other. And we'll see you or hear you next week, or you'll hear us next week. One. Can't find the off button. Here it is. Stop recording. Bam.